Hi and welcome back to my sewing channel. Today we're making another corset and I'm really excited about this because I've been obsessed lately with this cottage core style. I looked at a lot of Instagram accounts that do these types of corsets and I really wanted to do one myself. So today I will. I am using a pattern called Emma Breeze corset. And I've made some changes that I'm gonna explain to you guys in a second. And it's mainly to do with the outer versus inner fabric and so on. Now before we continue with this video, please consider leaving a like below if you like this video. And also if you want to see more of these types of videos, please consider subscribing, that is super helpful. And let's get back into it. And this is where I was supposed to explain about the changes I'd made, but unfortunately I forgot to plug in my microphone. So the main changes I did after making a mock-up was that I wanted to even out a bit the back and the front, making the front a bit shorter and the back a bit longer. And I also took it in a bit over the bust. And I also decided to use a stronger lining fabric and a more lightweight outer fabric, which is not what the instructions call for, but just a personal preference in this project. Here are the pattern pieces of the main fabric, and after cutting all these out, I just started off by sewing the center front and side front panels together. Oh my god guys, I struggled so hard to get these seams right. I think, so this is the, between the front and the side front, and I think the reason is mainly because of the adjustments that I did. I took it in a bit here and I think that might have done something with the curve. I did try it on the mock-up and I think it should be okay in terms of fit, but I really struggled to get this seam okay without a lot of puckering. And these are just wrinkles, but I have one small one that I have to really press in order for it not to be so visible, so we'll give that a try and hopefully it'll be okay. Now in the recipe or the pattern instructions, it calls for using the seam allowance as the boning channels, but I think I have to clip this quite a bit, and also my boning is thicker than the seam allowance, so what I've decided to do is just to sew, because I have Ridgeline boning that I can just sew on directly, so I think I'll just clip the seam allowances and then I'll just sew the boning onto the lining fabric because that's the strongest fabric. So I'm just going to clip this and just top stitch it for aesthetic reasons and to make the seam a bit stronger. So now we're ready for the back, so I'm just going to do the same thing and just stitch the back sides to the center back on these seams right here and just match up the notches and ease in the fullness around the curve. the back seams have been sewn, so I'm just gonna do like I did before, clip the seams, press the seams, and then we'll move on to these shoulder straps that are just going to be sewed on. Alrighty, so now the straps are attached, the seams are pressed, and the next part will be to attach the side seams. I'm gonna try to pin it to me so we'll see a bit better with the strap here. Let's see how that works. Let's say that will hit there. I think this looks okay. And it hits right in the back as well. Yeah, I think this will be fine. So this will obviously be a bit wider in the front to leave some room for the lacing and to just have sort of like a gap. So we'll just continue with the lining and then we'll just get everything together. Okay, so now it's time for the back lining. So here is the center back piece, and then we have the two side back pieces, and we're just simply gonna sew these together. And then I will start sewing in the boning in the lining pieces. So these are sewn together. I'm just gonna trim the seam allowance. So now I'm just gonna sew this Ridgeline boning on each side of the middle. Alright, so the boning is in on the back panel. I also quickly just overlocked the edge at the bottom just because I felt like it was fraying a bit too much. I think I'll have one piece of boning on each side of the seam. Okay, so the boning is in, and I am just gonna attach the straps to the lining here, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, the straps are on, and they have been top stitched. And now I'm gonna try to insert boning into the front pieces as well along the seam. It's a bit more curved, so I'm a bit anxious to see how it works, but hopefully it will be just fine. Okay, so now I put the boning in between the front center and the front sides, and I am going to sew the side seams, put boning in these, and then we're gonna take a look at the front. So now after I have inserted all the boning, I am going to just mark the seam allowance in the front and put a piece of boning next to it before I fold it in. Alrighty, and now I think it's time to just sew these together. So I'm just pinning the two parts together. I'm still a bit unsure of whether or not I'll be able to turn it out since I already sewed the boning in. I'm gonna try that and we'll see. So now it's been stitched, I will first clip it quite thoroughly. I am quite excited about turning this one out. We'll just give this a try. Okay, so now I've turned it all out and I have pressed it, and mostly it looks nice, I think, on both sides. The one issue is here, because I cut one of the boning pieces a bit too long, or placed it too far up. I think it's the latter. I placed it too far up. So it's kind of poking here, and that is dragging the whole front. What I'm gonna do anyway, whether I'd seen that or not, is just to top stitch, and maybe that will keep the fabric a bit more in place, make it a bit more stable along the edge. But other than that, I think it looks very nice, and I'm gonna try to top stitch along here as well. So that is next. So that's it. I'm really happy with this project. I will probably make more in this style, honestly, because it's so easy to do different varieties and it's so easy to sort of mix and match with the clothes that you already have in your closet. So I really want to try to make more of this style. If you guys like this video, please leave a like below again, and please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.